cold?
Well, I don't know. I'm not cold this morning, but I have got the heating on as well.
How are you?
Yeah, good. I'm hoping that my microphone is okay because when I edited our recent podcast, there was like this really weird sound.
Oh.
So I'm hoping it's going to be okay. And I can't remember if our split screen works properly, which one I've got it on, because we keep showing up as half face on Instagram. So let me just have a quick look on Insta.
Yeah, it was all right last time, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I just got to remember what screen it is. Let me have a look.
It looks all right.
Does it look all right? So
Yeah.
we're going back and forth. Oh,
No,
it's done a proper split.
yeah.
Oh, so I could actually change the settings, I think. I'll just keep. Oh, no, it's doing it again.
It looks all right.
Does it look all right? No, it's not working. Right, I'm going to do it this way. I'm just looking for anyone listening to make sure that you can see all of our faces and not half of our faces. So it's just catching up. I've done a split screen now, and let's see what happens. It's just showing half our faces. It's so annoying.
Mine looks all right. Look.
So it's just catching up. I've done a split screen. Mine doesn't. It looks like that.
Oh dear. What phone have you got?
Oh dear. iPhone. What you got?
Which one have you got?
I think it's catching up. Oh, come on, tech. Oh dear. Oh, for
This is
God's
hilarious.
sake.
Let's do this.
What if I put it on the full screen view? I think that's how I did it. Full screen, and then I think it switches between us.
It's really funny.
Maybe it's because we're both talking. Oh, it's working now. So I knew I could get there in the end. Oh God.
See you next week.
See you next week. Yeah. Anyway, the reason why this all got horribly wrong, because last week we were halfway through this same episode and the technology kicked us out of the studio. So we thought we was going to just pick up where we left off, and we both suffer with perimenopause and we'll never remember where that was. So we just thought we would start again. We're starting from scratch, the whole bloody thing again. I'll probably talk about something completely different today. Never mind. Anyway, so we are joining you today on season 4 of the VA Live Lounge, first episode in season 4, to talk about what you're not take 2 to talk about what you're not getting clients as a virtual assistant and what you can do about it. Because there's so many VAs out there struggling. They're talking about struggling. They're thinking about giving up their businesses. They're going back to employment. They blame a saturated market. But there's actually some simple things that you can do to make sure that you are getting clients. And I'm not going to say that it's all your fault, because it is hard. It's really bloody hard to get clients nowadays, isn't it, Kirsty?
It is, and I think it is difficult. But I always say to you, we should do like a tracker, because I do think that certain times of the year do have an effect on clients. And the continuation with clients and things like that, people on holidays, school holidays, all of that kind of thing. Going wrong. You know what I mean? So I think it's like a time of the year type of thing as well. And I think a lot of VAs out there who are struggling to get clients do have that feeling of failure, don't they? And that doesn't help your confidence, does it? Because if you're feeling like you're not getting anywhere, or you haven't got any clients and things like that, then it does have an effect on your mindset, and you think, well, what's the point?
Yeah, I agree with that. And about the tracker, like, why haven't you done that in?
I don't know. I'll put it on my list.
It's taking you so long, love.
My ever-growing list is like 57 tasks to do to say.
But I think confidence is obviously a massive issue. But it's not just in the VA world right now. Like, literally, getting clients, getting business for small businesses is so hard right now. I talk to business owners all the time, because as you know, I'm a serial networker, and loads of people I've spoken to recently are really struggling. It's like constant hustle, constant hamster wheel approach. And I think that's a lot to do with the economic crisis that we're in the UK at the moment. I don't think I don't want to bring politics into it, but I don't think the war in Iran is helping. And the fact that um, oil prices, fuel, petrol at the pumps has gone up, and we might be remote workers, but it does have a knock-on impact to the bottom line, to the pennies in our pockets. And
mm,
if our costs are all going up, outside of our businesses, and we're struggling to get clients, it's inevitable that you're going to feel that squeeze and you're going to
mm,
think about going back to work. This is one of the reasons why raising your prices incrementally is really important to do each year, every year as
mm.
well. Have you done that lately, Kirsta?
No, but I will submit my invoice at the end of this session.
Kirsty, you've got to raise your prices with your own clients every year.
I know. I don't know. I'm so bad. I get scared.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I really wanted to actually increase the rates for the VAs this year. Um, but because of our VAT situation
Mm,
last year, and the fact that I haven't been able to raise prices to clients because of
mm,
that, I haven't been able to do that. So that's going to be maybe maybe it will be, it doesn't have to be next year, it can be the same year. People get a bit caught up in all of that. It has to be the end of the financial year, and it
mm.
doesn't. It can
No.
be any time. So
Mm,
that's something to circle back on. But anyway, getting back to why VAs are losing clients, one of the things I talked about last week was these posts. The posts that really annoy me. If you've listened to me for a while now, you know what I'm talking about. And these are the posts where VAs that are starting their businesses, and bless them, are super excited about that, start putting out a post on Instagram saying, coming soon, can't wait to share something with you. And like literally nobody cares apart from your mum, your sister, your next door neighbour, and your brother and your cat, right? Like they're the only people commenting. No one bloody cares that your business is coming soon. And it's one of the reasons I think that VAs are struggling is because they have got the marketing message all wrong.
yeah.
They put this post out, they go, coming soon. Oh my God, so exciting. And guess what happens when you do come soon?
No one
Well,
gives a
no one
shit.
wants to do that, by the way. Is that you just get tumbleweed?
It's you're the only person that is excited, and then you're like, no one's commented, no one's banging my door down. But I think you're right.
Mm,
I think the marketing message. I think people are making it purely about business, and I had a conversation with one of my clients this week about switching that business mode into more of a personal brand, because
mm,
people will we talk about this all the time, is that it's all very well having a business mode and having a business model and your marketing in terms of business, but people want to know who you are. People want to
mhm,
know, where one of my clients didn't even realize I lived here in Torquay, right? I've been
mm.
working with her for 5 years, and it's
Yeah.
really, she was like, I didn't realize you lived there. And I'm like, why? Because you don't
Mm,
generally, your natural instinct when you're running a business or starting a business is to go business, business, business. Well, actually, people want to know who you are, what you're about. They want to know, be able to relate to something that you're talking about, or what you're doing, what you're interested in, so they can actually, and you will find people will be more invested in you because you're upfront. You become across as being, a trustworthy person, which people are desperate for at the moment. And I think one of the points somebody said to me before was the VA market is swamped, right? But it's swamped for people with the wrong message. Okay,
mm,
everyone's using AI. Can you make this picture really professional? Right? That's you put a professional picture on Instagram or whatever it is. That's not you.
mm,
That's not a true person, and that will naturally think somebody. People are starting to know what AI looks like, right? And so people go, well,
mm,
that's not a true picture, and that kicks off a negative vibe that you are not a
mm,
true person, because you think you've got to have all the professional pictures and the oohs and the this and all that. But actually, you sitting on the beach with a cup of tea. I took a photo of myself in the garden last week, put it
mm.
on LinkedIn, and everyone was liking it and sharing it. But if I sat there with kind of look, people are like, you look like a knobhead. Just be real,
Exactly.
just be you, just be natural. You don't
Yeah.
have to be 100% business. People will want to invest in you as a person.
100%. And that's part of the reason these coming soon posts don't work,
Mm,
because no one cares about what your you're launching unless they're already invested in you. And if you're brand new, what are they invested in? You know,
They don't
they
know
don't
you.
know anything about you. So what you've just
Exactly.
said is so right. Like, personal brand in 2026 and for the next few years is going to be huge. And it's because of this world we live in, which is full of fake news, AI headshots. Nobody knows what's real anymore. There's a craving for authenticity.
Yeah.
So if you are that person who's shrinking away in the corner now because we've called you out, right, and you are writing these posts, just stop. Like, if you are thinking about launching a VA business, the best thing you can do right now is start to talk about you. So
Mm.
get on your Instagrams, get on your LinkedIns, and start building up your personal brand by talking about you. And treat it like, I said this last week, treat it like a story. Every story has a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Yeah.
You start with the beginning. Why are you doing it? What is it? What's the reason? What spurred this idea on? And we gave you as an example, didn't we, that you was made redundant. So you were about to be made redundant in the world that you were in, and so you already had the concept. Well, I'm probably going to go it alone. Your story would have been, oh my god, I'm about to be made redundant, so guess what, guys, I'm going to do something really brave and I'm going to start up my own business. And you would have like journaled publicly that
Mm.
journey of redundancy and how it's making you feel. And people might think, well, what's the point in that? How is that reaching your ideal client? Well, at the same time, you are going to be reaching out and connecting and sending requests to people that are your ideal client, because you should always have that in your back pocket first. And those people, some of those people would have started their businesses because the same problems, they would have been made redundant.
Yeah.
And now they kind of relate to you. And then
Mm.
the middle of your story would have been the setting up, behind the scenes. I've brought a computer, ask questions to the public. Is this the right setup? Is this what you think I need?
Yeah.
So you could start to get that kind of engagement. And then the end of the story, which isn't really the end, it's the ongoing journey from there. So it's talking about, I've done it now, I've set up, it's amazing, but it's showing people the flaws, the problems, the headaches, the realities.
Mm.
And that's your coming soon
Yeah.
post, a series of posts.
Absolutely. And I think to relate what I was saying before, like, people will automatically naturally go to the end of their story rather than
Mm,
doing that nurturing side and telling people, asking people's advice. Social media is a brilliant tool to ask people's advice. What does everybody think about this? What do you, I'm in this kind of situation. What do you think I should do? Because that will bring engagement and people will sympathize with that, and people say, give you ideas and suggestions. But what to remember is that what you're posting and they're commenting, other people will then see and they will then
mm,
relate to that. So you're building your network by just simply
mm,
asking one question. We did it with the VA community, right? We put questions on there and people have started engaging, and we put questions on there about, oh my god, I'm in this situation, what should I do, that kind of thing. And it does start a conversation with people, and that's a
yeah.
natural thing. Having a conversation doesn't have to be about business. It could be about your
Mm,
dog or your fish or your guinea pigs or whatever,
mm.
and that will then naturally start a conversation with somebody.
Yeah, it does. It is about building connections with people now more than ever. In fact, this morning I had a call with a VA who was after some advice. I'd commented on a post on, I had no idea what this call was going to be about because I couldn't remember what I posted about. But anyway, she came on
Oh.
and she was really, really brilliant. I'm not going to say too much about what she's doing because it's fabulous. But she was in this headspace of, I need some help with marketing. When I listened to her, she didn't need any help with marketing. That wasn't what she needed whatsoever at all. She needed to build her personal brand ahead of launching the things she's going to launch. And
Mm.
so what we talked about was what you need to do now before you launch that. And it's having a strategy, it's knowing where to be, and it's starting to build connections. Instagram, don't even bother with it. And so there was no real talk about marketing as such in that way. It was all about what you need to do before you launch that thing. And
Mm.
so that's exactly what I would advise any person thinking about starting a VA business to do, is really think about what is it that you've got to, what foundations do you have to lay before you put yourself out there? Because when you put yourself out there without foundations, it's like having a house with a roof and no bottom. It'll just fall and collapse to the ground, right? So, and that's what's kind of happening at the moment, is people are seeing the VA world as a really easy place to be and make money, and it really isn't. It really isn't. It can be, but it really, 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 really isn't. And
Mm,
so, and I don't think that it's necessarily a saturated market as such, but there is a lot of competition
mm,
because a lot of people are doing the same thing and they're doing it in different ways. So it's really thinking about how you can stand out. Personal brands, one of them. The other thing is what particular niche have you are you going to be in. So once you figure out a niche and you're in a particular industry or you're talking to a particular type of client, you suddenly park the other side of it all. So, if you've got 100% of the pool that you're trying to fish in, once you niche to just goldfish, for example, and forget all the rest of the fish, that suddenly drops that percentage right down. And so you start to target that audience in
mm,
your messaging in the way you talk. So really understanding your niche and then your ideal client will also help you to stand out and get
mm.
clients, because it is about standing out ultimately.
Yeah.
How else are you going to do it? There is lots of techniques and lots of strategies to get clients, but you still have to stand out.
You do, absolutely, and I think if you do have the right strategy, we say all the time to people about posting on social media and things like that, but you've got to have a reason why you're doing it, because you can put as many posts up as you like, but if they don't have a reasoning behind it, or your end goal, what's the point of posting it? You may as well just post a blank piece of paper. So if you've got
Yeah.
the right strategy and the reason you're doing it, don't be afraid to be a person. We're all human at the end of the day, and I'm not saying go on social media and pour your heart out and all that kind of thing, but be a person. Don't be a robot, because people will naturally be interested in you as a person, not how you can save their world and be the best thing since sliced bread in their minds and all that kind of
Mm,
thing. And 10 people will tell 10 people, oh, I saw this girl on the internet. She was made redundant recently. She's so
mm,
brave. She's like started out her own business. So
mm.
it's like a natural flow, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And also, like you just said, don't post for posting's sake, post for a
Mm,
reason. Two things that you should sense check before you post is, number one, does this speak to my ideal client? And number two, are you speaking to an audience or one person?
yeah.
So we get really caught up in speaking to our entire audience, but
Mhm.
really you should be talking as if you're talking to one person,
Yeah.
and that will feel a lot more relatable when it's out there.
Mm,
God, there's just so many things that I could talk about why VAs are struggling to get clients. One of them is that you're treating yourself like an employee. The
mm,
amount of virtual assistants that start a business and quickly become someone's employee
yeah.
is unbelievable to me. Like, literally, you have to remember you are the CEO in your own business,
Mm,
and you get to determine what the rules are. So you get to say what happens when, what your boundaries are. And the minute you end up in a relationship with someone where they're dictating to you, they're telling you what they're texting you or calling you at all hours and you're answering, or they're putting demands on you that are unrealistic, they're making you feel like shit. That's a boss.
mm,
That's a boss. And remember, just because you're someone's assistant, you're not an assistant that's employed in an office. It's a very different relationship.
mm,
You are the owner of your business, and they are contracting you for a service that you're providing. They are asking for your expertise. The minute you start bowing down, you've literally become their employee. And
mm.
then they're not going to refer you to anyone. Trust me, they're not going to refer you to anyone, because they just see you as a little lapdog. They're not really respecting you. They're not really thinking highly of you. The
Mm.
minute you be professional and you're calling them out on things like that and saying, sorry, but I'm not going to take that call at this time, and this is the reason why, and you turn the tables, they're going to have a whole new respect level for you.
You're absolutely right, and I think it's very difficult, isn't it, when you are starting out and you do only have a couple or one or two clients or whatever, that you do kind of fall foul to that, because you want to keep that client. So how I did it, I'm speaking from
Mm,
experience. I was taking calls on bank holidays. I was on holiday for 2 weeks. I was taking phone calls. And because you set that precedent for that client, they will expect that ongoing, and it's very, very difficult, trust me, to turn that table to say,
mm,
actually, I'm not available on Sunday morning when you're in a pissy because A, B, and C hasn't been achieved or whatever, and that's not my
mm,
problem, and you just want to bollock somebody. And I was taking those calls, but it's so hard. But please don't fall foul to that, because it is very difficult to get out of that situation. Don't just work with a client for the sake of working with a client, because it will absolutely destroy you, and that is voice of experience, the same as
mm,
you. And I think because you are so, well, for want of a better word, desperate for a client, you will do anything to keep that client or to get that client, and that is the wrong mindset to have. If you want to be your own boss, you want to have your own business, you have to set those boundaries straight away. And please don't just work for clients for the sake of work. There's so many other ways that you can build your business by joining an agency, becoming an associate, buddying up with another VA, anything like that. You don't have to just work with people for the sake of working with people.
Yeah, you do. You really don't. And like you just said, you could join an agency, you could be an associate VA. There's lots of other ways to make it work, was just setting up and starting out.
Mm,
And I did that, and
mm,
lots of people do that, and there's no shame in that. I think VAs, some VAs have really got it and they know what they're doing and they're all over LinkedIn, but a lot of VAs are just all over Instagram. And unless your niche is on Instagram, it's the wrong place to be because you're a business to business provider.
mm,
And where are businesses? They're normally on LinkedIn. So
mm,
the other reason I would say VAs are not getting clients is they haven't really worked out their ideal client. They haven't completed an ideal client persona. They
mm.
haven't saw the benefit in doing that, and they haven't really got clarity. So it's kind of like a scattergun approach of just fire the bullets everywhere and see which one hits the target.
Yeah.
So it doesn't. It's energy, Right, I tell you now, the burnout from social media for people is real. But
Mm,
feeling like you have to be on social media constantly. I was talking to a client of ours that I met her in person on a Wednesday night. She's like, it's so exhausting. And I was like, you don't need to be on social media at all
yeah.
doing what you do. Like your niche is so different that you literally just need to be speaking at events, showing up at events, and just doing some LinkedIn. And people feel like they need to be everywhere. And part of the problem is that you're listening to all that noise that's out there. You just got to know you and do you. And it gets a lot easier when you do that. But trying to be everywhere, all over the place, all the time. And look, I'm guilty of it. We're all guilty of it. But it takes your energy away from where you really do need to be. I would say, unless you are in the home staging industry, you're in the interior design, you're in the beauty industry, the wellness industry, you probably don't need to be on Instagram at
Mm,
all.
yeah.
If you're looking to work with corporate businesses, for example, don't even bother. That's just
No,
not the place to be.
no.
So it is about, if you're struggling to get clients, ask yourself, are you showing up where you need to show up? So that's online. Have you built an email list?
Mm,
Because so many VAs don't do this. They don't realize that it's something that you don't just do for clients, you should do for yourself.
mm.
I actually do have a build a lead magnet funnel put lead magnet funnels to attract dream clients masterclass coming up on the 6th of May. I've had to move it because I'm going to a funeral, unfortunately, at 1 p.m. And it's in the link in our bio, or head to our website events page and you can join for free. And this is going to talk to you about why you should be having a lead magnet or a few lead magnets to attract your particular dream clients. And there's two of them that we had that worked really well, and both for different reasons, because that's the other thing. You can't just have some whimsical lead magnet that is just generic. You've got to have a purpose behind it and a strategy. So one that we had was boost your LinkedIn profile for instant results. Now that one still does really well to this day. I don't even know how people find it, but they do. They download it every day, so it's kind of amazing. Um, and that was because we wanted to find people that were particularly struggling with social media and LinkedIn. And then the other one was our 7-day delegation challenge, which had buried in it a unique code to get a 5-hour free trial. Well, the only people who are ever going to download that are people that are struggling to delegate. And that's the
Yeah.
exact thing that you want as a VA, isn't it? So these are all things that I'll be teaching in the masterclass. But a lead magnet where you've got your own little pipeline of warm leads that you can nurture, that no one can take away from you. They're not trying to sell on socials. This is your little pool of people. That's gold dust to VAs, and not enough VAs are doing that as well.
You're right. And I think just going back to the social media, and I'm not going to name this person, but I do see this person, they post 2 times a day, every single day, this VA. And
Wow.
it is borderline boring, right? And I'm just being completely honest, it's the same shit in different wording. please don't do that, because people will get fed up of seeing the same thing. Make it exciting, make it different. You don't have to post 2 or 3 times a day. If you're posting twice a day, the person that's looking at that will not see your previous post because you've already posted again, unless they scroll through. And if you're not posting something that's interesting, or a lead magnet, they're not going to click on your profile and look through what else you've posted. This person posts all the time, and I really feel like I want to reach out to and say stop, because it does become like, oh god, there she is again, So have that proper strategy. You don't have to post all the time. Just it's quality over quantity. So whatever you're posting, it's got to be interesting to the person that's looking at that. So just really think about what, as you say, posting for the sake of posting. Don't do it. You don't have to do it 100 times a week. It's not going to work. It doesn't matter how many times you do it. It's not going to work. People just get fed up of seeing you.
Well, the algorithm will knock you down for that anyway, because if you're posting a lot and you're not really getting any hits, any likes, any follows, any shares, it'll just see you as like irrelevant and you won't be shown.
Well, it's proof, actually, because I used to like it and repost it, and now I just think, oh, whatever. You know what I mean? You just have quality in your content is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So I think thinking about why VAs are struggling to get clients. The other thing is, are you putting yourself in the right places physically? So networking, we had a whole episode on networking in a digital world, and if you haven't heard it, go back and listen to it. But most of our clients have come from networking, nearly all of them. And this is kind of like a pipeline of how it works. It's networking. It's they eventually come on board, or they know someone that they refer to you. They come on board and then they keep referring. And you get more strong referrals because you've met those people in person. So networking in person is absolutely fundamentally key to what you should be doing, because there will be, unlike, let's say, a photographer in a networking event, some people in that room might need a photographer and some won't. Unlike, I don't know, let's say someone who builds websites. Some people might already have a website, but everyone needs a VA. Like, everyone needs a VA. There isn't a business owner that doesn't, because you can't do everything in your business. So being a virtual assistant, like showing people the benefit of a VA, because everyone needs someone to help with their admin or help with marketing. A VA is so multifaceted. You can literally be that one-stop shop of support that someone needs. I was going to say something.
Yeah, it's really funny, actually, because I went onto my personal Facebook this morning, and somebody's posted in the Spotted Talkie or whatever it is, and they've put on there, they're looking at starting their own business. Put some ideas on there. What's everyone looking for? Coffee shop, vape shop, blah, blah, blah. And somebody actually put on there, why don't you be a VA? Everyone needs a VA. And when you said that, I was like, I saw that post this morning. I was like, people do, because as business owners, not just VAs, you can be any business owner. We work with so many different industries, and it's so true that people that painter and decorator, builder, staging companies, if I want, trying to think of other industries we work with.
Book.
Yeah. I mean, look at what we've done for that client. So yeah, it's been a hell of a road, but we're kind of making progress now. And everybody needs someone to just go, could you just quickly do that for me? Because I haven't got time. I don't have time. My admin is shocking. I have on the bottom of my lists, do your admin. Do I do it? No, because I haven't got the time. So really, I should have an assistant to do that. And that's for people's mindset, that I need somebody to do this, to check my inbox. Your inbox is disgusting, by the way, Lisa Tennant.
It's not.
It is horrendous.
It's not that bad, actually.
How many emails have you got in your inbox at the moment? In the thousands?
No, they're not. They've got them right down, I tell you. You haven't looked.
I tell you what, right? I went in, one of my clients said, oh, can you just have a look at something in my inbox? Went into her inbox. She had 2,000 odd unread emails.
No way. My personal one is really bad, because I haven't got time to read every email and every account that I've got, but not in my my business one anymore. I'm checking now.
Come on then, how many? This is holding Lisa Tennant accountable for her inbox.
I don't know. So what have I got? I've only got 27 unread.
Out of how many in the actual inbox?
No, there isn't that many. How do I know? How do I check that?
How many pages have you got to the nearest 100?
Literally, honestly, I've only got a few emails in 2025 that I haven't deleted yet. That's it.
Are you joking?
No, honestly, it's so good. So I've got 4 emails for 2025 that I've just got to get rid of, 2 for January, 4 for February, because these are a lot of things I need to action and do something with. Honestly, I
Yeah.
haven't got that many. I've done really
Yeah.
well, so shut up.
2025 was like 4.5 months ago, but still. But that's what I'm saying. Everybody has an inbox. Everyone has
Exactly,
multiple
yeah.
inboxes, right? You could just do a one-off service, an hour a week, whatever, to clear down somebody's inbox because nobody has the time to do that.
I love what you just said a minute ago. So imagine you go to a networking event and people stand up and they say, I'm so and so, and this is what I do. Imagine you stand up and you say, have you ever said to yourself, I wish I just had someone who could do that? Or have you ever said to someone, could you just do that for me, please?
Yeah.
And then just
Hundreds
ask the
of times.
question, how
Yeah.
many of you ever done that? And
Yeah.
when they say, yeah, or yeah, I wish I did, then you say, well, that's who I am. I'm
Mm.
Kirsty, and I'm the person that you can say to, can you just do that for me, please?
Yeah.
Because I do all of your admin, you're this, you're that. You've got to sell the benefits of what you do. And you're right, like literally, I sit there every day because Kirsty used to be my assistant, but now she's our account manager and I can't muddy the waters with the two. And I'm sitting there every day going, oh my God, I've got to take someone else on. And I feel really overwhelmed. This is the process, right? Let me explain the process of why, as a VA, you should not be worrying about clients leaving you.
Mm.
Because if I'm sitting here now and thinking, oh, I really need someone to do this, to do that, and it's like hard work to even get that ball rolling because I'm busy. So I'm time poor. So I'm not getting around to getting someone to do it. And I'm scared. I'm scared because I'm worried about who that person's going to be and will I trust them and will they be as good as Kirsty? And so I've got all of those worries going through my mind as well. And then let's say, okay, I overcome those fears and I finally take that next step. I find someone, I trust them, I take them on. Do you think after going through that process, I'm ever going to let them go again?
No, this is the thing, isn't it? And I think, I've had a wobble this week, as you know, because as
Kirsty, you're always wobbling.
I know I'm like a jelly. I'm like a sweaty-handed jelly, right? Because you do feel like sometimes, am I doing a good job? Oh my God, this client's going to leave because I haven't done a good enough job. There's one particular task that I've had on my plate, and this client I work with is lush. She's lovely. She's a really nice person. She's got a great business. And she said, could you just do
Could you
this for me?
just?
Right. And I'm a bit, as you know, I'm a nervous person when I'm doing new things. And it's been bothering the shit out of me this week. How am I going to do this? Like, I don't know how to do it. And I came to you and I said, I'm really worried she's going to leave because I don't know how to do this. I feel like I'm doing a really bad job, blah, blah, blah. But you're not. You are doing a good job because if you weren't doing a good job, you wouldn't be working with that client still. So
Yeah,
it's about having
exactly.
the confidence. And the thing of it is that people now say, this guy says to me every week, please don't ever leave me. I don't know what I'd do without
Mm,
you. Because they would have no idea to do
mm,
what you're doing. And for them to be able to retrain somebody to do what you do or what you've invested or
mm.
what you've implemented, they wouldn't know where to start. They
Yeah,
wouldn't have a tiny,
absolutely.
tiny, tiny idea of where to start.
Yeah, absolutely. It's true. Once you do end up getting clients, it is you end up becoming that person's lifeline and it's
Yeah.
much harder for them to want to leave you. So that's why you have to, if you're going to be having conversations with people and you're going to be really flaky in your boundaries, they'll see that and they probably won't sign up with you. But
Yeah.
if you're really showing them how strong you are and you're laying out the terms early doors in a friendly and polite way, that's not going to put people off. They're going to be, wow, this is a solid, dependable person that I want in my life. So you really do have to go with that. And if you find that you've had calls with people lately and they've ghosted you,
Mm,
the number one reason for that will be because you've given up, you've given too much away, you've
yeah.
spoke too much, you've told them that you can solve so many problems that imagine I just gave you that scenario where I talked about I've got to go through the process of thinking I need someone, finding someone, trusting someone. Imagine what that does to a business owner when they're on a call with you and you're going, oh my God, yeah, we could do
Yeah.
this and I could do that. They're going to walk away from that. They might be there nodding emphatically because it all sounds amazing. And they're going to walk away going, I don't even know how I'll get started. And then they
Yeah.
just won't bother. So
because it's
don't do
because
that on
they're
calls.
overwhelmed. They're overwhelmed by
Yeah.
it. But I think just going back to that point, it's like we've just had a client return to us because they left because they wanted to have somebody a full-time person in person, that kind of thing. It unfortunately didn't work out, and now they've come back to us because I'm the only one that knows how to do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
They can do it, but they haven't got time to do it. And they just go, oh, we're not going to recruit anybody for now. We're just going to sit here for 6 months, let you do it, and we'll just revisit when we're ready, right? Because you've worked with that client so long. I've put those processes and made them better for them, made them quicker for
Mm,
them. Everything is much easier for them. So I think like believe in what you've actually implemented and believe that person is pleased that you've put that in place. They're not going to go, can you teach me how to do it because I don't know what I'm doing? Because it's easy
exactly.
to go, can you just
Can you just, yeah.
can you
It's the
just
same as one of our team members sadly ended up having to have emergency surgery last week. And Kirsty's gone to all the clients about, swapping out the VA at the moment while she's recuperating. And one of them was like, no, can't, we'll wait for her. She
yeah
knows everything. And that's the thing, like you have to be so trusting in yourself and your abilities that show that on your discovery call, show how
yeah
amazing you are. Don't be scared about it, but don't give too much away. And actually you should always start with baby steps with
yeah
clients, because they need to see the benefits first, the benefits of you, which is why a 5 hour free trial is really good. We
mm,
always advise to start with a few tasks and add more on
yeah
as you go on. If you don't and you let clients just throw everything at you, it fails. The relationship fails really quickly and you get the blame for it. But if you can demonstrate that on a discovery call, you're more, and then be really strong in the follow up. We've had a call now. I've told you how I can help you. Are you ready to sign up? If they go, not sure, then you have to be strong enough to say, well, what's going to change? What's
yeah
going to change if you don't? And then show them the benefit of signing up, get them in your little ecosystem. And once you've got them in, it's much harder for them to leave because you've started to solve all their problems. I'm not saying that clients don't leave, they do,
mm,
normally for financial reasons, not because of your work. But the best way you can keep a client, I mean, nowadays, the best way you can keep a client is to get really, really good at AI, because
mm,
clients know the benefits, but they're time poor on using it. And if you can build like a system using AI that solves a client's problem, but you're the one that controls it,
mm,
well, you just become invaluable. You just get
yeah
absolutely entwined in that person's business, and
yeah
they're never going to want to leave you. So I know we're talking there a little bit about what to do once you've got the client, but that's important. I just want to stay on track with why people are not getting clients. And I think we've covered lots of reasons. And
mm,
a lot of those reasons are about how you're showing up, your personal brand, making sure you're standing out. You're standing out because you're being authentically you. Don't be scared of outreach. Don't be scared of being an associate. It doesn't mean you're a failure to take a pay cut and go out there and cut your teeth in someone else's business. In fact, I'd bloody advise it, because you
yeah
can make all your mistakes there instead of under your own brand.
yeah
Don't get caught up in this ridiculous, I've got to build a website, it's got to be perfect. I had a young man in here yesterday. Oh my God, because I run a co working business. And by the way, he wasn't a customer, he came to borrow my guillotine. Right. So it was quite random. I'll just go off on a bit of a tangent and explain this story, but it's fascinating. And he wanted me to print him some business cards, but we don't print business cards. But he said, no, it's okay. I've just done like a Canva, and I just need the front and back printed, and then I'm happy to cut them myself because it was for an event, a networking event. Bless him, he's going to today. So I said, well, send them to me on an email. He sends them over, and I looked at it. It's double sided. I said, and so I called him and I said, but how did you do it? Because if I double side copy this, how do I know the boxes are going to line up?
mm,
Did you have to move the boxes around? Yeah, yeah. I was like, a bit nervous about that. Anyway, we couldn't do the printing because the ink just ran. So I sent him a text, said, sorry, we can't do it. You need to pop somewhere else. But he came in and he hadn't seen the message. And I said, look, we can't do it. I'm really sorry. Pop round to a stationery shop we've got round the corner. So he goes there. I said, look, if they haven't got a guillotine, pop back. And he comes back to use the guillotine. And it's an AI business he's going to run. He's only 22, this kid, right? Um, Clearly autistic, but absolutely lovely, very
mm.
smart. And I said to him, so tell me about what you're doing then. He starts getting really passionate, telling me, doesn't know that I do the same thing. So
Oh
he's telling me all about it. We're chatting. And then I ended up sitting with him for probably 2 hours. and talking about what he's doing. He's showing me all his systems. I've chatted about what I'm doing. And there was a customer in at the time, a young guy. He's got his headphones on, sitting in the corner. And so he'd said he'd had this concept before ChatGPT became an app. So he's back then, and he missed the boat. And he
No.
missed the boat, yeah. And like he's done, and by the way, the business card thing, yeah, it didn't work because they weren't aligned. So we had to print them on two sheets, and then he glued them together back to back. Bless him.
Oh.
So he's done these cards, and I said he was going on about his business cards, but when I've got more, and I said to him, no one cares about the business cards. I
No.
said, why are you worried about the business cards? He says, because it's got to be professional. I said, you are waiting for perfection, and
Yeah.
that's what's held you back, and that's why you didn't launch on time. I said, just get out there with a piece of paper and pen,
Yeah.
take notes on someone's details, make them connect with you on LinkedIn. Don't worry about perfection and business cards. Anyway, it turns out the guy in the corner is head of AI for his department in his company. He ends up taking his headphones off. We all have a chat, and now I'm starting an AI club apparently at the co-working spot. But what was fascinating was, this is someone who's really smart,
Mm.
knows what he's talking about, and waited and is still waiting for it to be perfect. So if you're that VA, stop waiting for perfection. Do
Yeah.
not build your website. Don't just bloody get out there and
Yeah.
start talking about you.
Absolutely. I still haven't got a website.
And you've been how long?
5 years.
Exactly. It's just so
Well,
unnecessary.
you're right, and I think as well, if you are, because I'm not very good at like in person talking and things like that, but I think if you have, it's very easy to just go, here's a business card, here's a business card. But if you actually go up to somebody and say, hi, I'm such and such, can I take your details? I'll connect on LinkedIn or whatever, and that's like you can start a conversation off of that. Then, can't you? It's all about again that personal side, doing that personal
Mm,
branding. Because if you're just chucking business cards left, right, and centre, naturally people go, and they'll forget about it.
yeah.
It'll go through the washing machine, through the tumble dryer, be hanging on the line, or. So if you have actually got in front of somebody to speak to them, it's the best way.
Yeah, well, what normally happens at networking anyway is people all get the notepads out, and I'll give you a top tip here, and they just write down everybody's as they talk. Always give your freaking last name at a networking event. Do you know how frustrating it is when
Mm.
you are at a networking event? I'll just give up. Right, people go, "Hi, I'm Sam, and I run this business, and I do this." They don't say the business name. They haven't told me the last name. How am I ever going to freaking find you?
You know what? That is very true. Because at the minute, I'm doing something for a client of mine. Same thing, connecting on LinkedIn or whatever. I haven't got the last name. I've just got a Gmail account, at Gmail, and the first name.
Hmm.
I don't know what they look like, so the people aren't going to remember you if they don't know your last name, or you have, or some kind of business email address. So do say your last name. That's your name, and people go, "Oh,
Yeah.
I know that person from." Unless you've got a very distinctive name like Tarquin or something like that, but
Hmm.
they're not going to remember you, are they?
Yeah, absolutely. They're not. No, they won't remember you, and people aren't trying to remember you. They're trying to write your details down. So
Mm.
give them the bloody details.
Yeah,
Give them everything. When you give your pitch, your elevator pitch when you're networking, you introduce your first and last name. You tell them what problems you can solve, and you tell them where they can find you. So you can say, you can find me on LinkedIn at Lisa Tennant. You can find me on Instagram, LT Business Management, and you can find me on my website, ltbusinessmanagement.com. How long did that take? Seconds. Just do it. And the what I would be tempted to do now at network, and I do actually do this at networking events now, is I take leaflets about my services. Because like you just said, now a business card doesn't go in the back pocket in the washing machine with me. I do follow it up, but it will for some people. And a leaflet, you've got loads more white space to give information about what you do.
yeah.
So a leaflet's really, really good. And I'm cheeky. Like I'll go to network and tell the host, do you mind if I put some leaflets out? How many of them say no to me? None. Yeah, of course. I just go around then, leafleting everybody. Flipping job done. I haven't got to worry. So be cheeky. Guess what that also does? It helps you stand out.
I was just going to say
People
that because
remember
people,
you.
yeah, people remember you for being that person who was a little bit cheeky,
Mm.
who has a brilliant pitch, but they'll remember you for being standing out.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing is consistency in every approach you take. You've got to be repetitive. It's boring. You've got to keep doing it day in, day out. You cannot go, this isn't working, and move to the next thing. Look, when I went to the networking event on Wednesday night, in the room are people I know. I know everybody when I network now, so it doesn't matter where I go, there'll be someone in that room I know.
Mm.
And when we all went around and did our elevator pitches, this is the beauty of it though. The chairman of Business Peak District was there. And when he stood up and gave his elevator pitch, he was telling everyone about an event that's coming up. And he said, we always have amazing speakers like Lisa, who spoke at our last event at the Business AI and Digital Summit, which I spoke at, right? Is I don't have to do anything. This is
Mm.
advertising. Is
Yeah.
advocating for me. What do you think the other people in the room are thinking when they go, "Wow,
She must be
he's
really
vouching for
important.
her. She must be good. She talks at events. Oh wow." Then Heather, our client, stands up and says, "By the way, I can totally agree with what Lisa says about launching. She's just helped me do a 3-month launch. It's been absolutely brilliant." There you go, referral right there in the
Referrals and
room.
testimonials, I am so,
Mm,
so, so key on that. They
yeah,
literally, like, we had one this week, didn't we, about us? And people want to read what real people say about you,
mm,
and they go so, so far, don't they? They just,
yeah,
it's something that is gold to me.
yeah. It
Testimonials,
is.
referrals.
Yeah, I'll be honest. There's one thing I've stopped doing. So I, for months, years, have talked about outreach on LinkedIn,
Mm,
about cold outreach and how
mm,
beneficial it is. But things are changing so
mm,
fast right now that the advice I gave you a month ago probably isn't the same advice I'd give today. And something's been holding me back because I have an outreach approach as well, cold outreach, and I haven't been able to bring myself to do it. And I've been trying to figure out why. And I've really, I mean, my inbox is ridiculous. The people that, not in my email inbox, my LinkedIn inbox, they reach out. It's so cringy as well because you
mm,
know exactly what they're going to be saying and doing. And it'll be, hi, Lisa, tell me about your business. And you're just waiting for the pitch
mm,
because you can feel it, right?
yeah.
Or some of them just come right out with, I'm going to get some of them up. Some of them will just come right out with a full blown sell. I'm just going to, I'm not even going to say
You
no
don't even
thanks.
read
I'm just
it.
going to delete it.
You don't
So
read them.
exactly, but the ones we do, they've been more personable. But I've actually, I do something different now. So what I'm doing now is, um, when I post if I post something that gets a lot of traction, I look at the comments and I check if the person's my ideal client. And if they are, then I connect with them. And in my connection note request, which is why you need Sales Navigator because you can only do so many notes, you shouldn't send a connection request on LinkedIn with an empty note because people might say no.
Mm,
Is I say, thanks for commenting on my recent whatever that post was. And they know now. They go, oh yeah, I remember commenting on that person's post. Yeah, of course I'll accept it. Okay. So then when they accept it, I'll go back and say, thank you so much for accepting my connection request. End of story. Nothing
yeah.
else. Okay. I'll wait a week, go back in, and I might talk about that post in more detail
Mm,
because now we've got a relationship, a connection that's about something tangible. It's not just
mm,
me who don't know you dropping in your inbox trying to sell your pen, right?
yeah.
Or I will look at their posts and I will comment on and in their
Mm,
DMs and I'll say, I really love that post you wrote recently about something. And the idea is just to get a natural conversation started.
yeah.
And that approach is working for me right now. And I think that's the approach I'm going to stick with right now.
Mm,
So if you are struggling, try this approach. Just try building up your personal brand, talking about you. One of my recent posts went viral on LinkedIn. It was about a Mother's Day rant. Okay. It's just me talking about how shit it is bringing up teenagers. So nothing to do with business, but it related with people, it related with other business owners. And I got a sales call on the back of that.
mm.
So it's worth not doing it inauthentically, but doing it and then seeing who's commenting, connecting, having conversations. That is what you need to do right now.
You're absolutely right, and doing that kind of, we recently started to do this very similar thing, and actually going into people's inbox and saying thank you for
Yeah.
commenting or thank you for connecting or
Yeah.
whatever.
Thanking them.
It
Yeah.
really is a real good one. It's all very well sending somebody a DM saying, this is what I can do. This is what I charge. Blah, blah, blah. And they'll go. They get bored of reading it because they probably had about
Mm,
30 that day as well, right? I don't
yeah.
read any of that crap that comes in my LinkedIn box. I can't be bothered. I haven't got the time.
Mm,
It's a load of rubbish anyway. But if you're actually, that should be your opening line. Hi, thank you for commenting or accepting or whatever it is, because people think, oh, that's a nice person, and they'll carry on reading. If you're jumping straight in there with a salesy message, people think, oh, I had this 2 weeks ago, I'm bored of it, don't bother, delete.
Yeah,
That's it. And
exactly.
that then they're bored of you then by that point. They can't be bothered, so they don't even bother
Yeah.
looking at any of your posts.
No, that's it. They'll just disconnect from you. I'm going to show you some that I've had. So there's one I had that was as if they were pretending to be a friend. Here it is. I'm going to read you this one. And he's put, Morning, Lisa. How are things? Great to be connected on here. Working on anything fun at the moment. Not sure how to ask a non weird opener question. So I hope this suits. Thanks. Now, that was kind of nice. It was informal. It was okay. So I replied to that and I said, oh, yes, I'm currently building out bespoke systems for clients using AI. How about yourself? And he's put, wonderful. How's it going? I'm rehabbing an injury to get back playing sport for the summer. Fun and very boring. So all really good so far because it's just normal chit chat. And I've put, oh dear. And that's it. And then he's put, hey Lisa, how's the form? Would it be rude if I pitched to you? This is the third message off him now. Would it be rude if I pitch for you? Before I do, it's more of an ask to have a quick call to see if my coaching might be the right fit for you and if it's something you need or want. That's if you're looking for some support around your health and well-being. Cheers. Third message in, and he's actually asked me, would it be rude if I pitched to you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not being funny, but he's a coach. So coaching requires a special relationship. You've really got to build something up with someone before you do that. That was too fast.
Yeah.
He moved too quickly. You know
By
what I
that
mean?
point,
I don't know anything about him.
Yeah, exactly. You know nothing about him, and people. It's like I said this last week. It's like when you go into a shop, right? You walk through the door and you get somebody go, "Can I help you?" People don't want that. Hello. That's it.
Oh, I hate that. Yeah,
I do. I really do. I feel like I just want to. I
walk out the shop. I walk out the shop. I do. Yeah.
It's the same concept when you're throwing yourself at somebody. It's like walking into a bar and throwing yourself at the first person that you see. Let's get married. Yeah. Whatever. Do you know what I mean? Because people want to be nurtured, they want to get to know you, they want to talk to you. Oh yeah, what are you doing this weekend? That kind of thing. But to throw yourself straight at somebody, they won't read it. They'll get bored, and that's it. You're done.
And in his case, he actually said, would it be rude if I pitched to you? He actually tells me he's pitching to me. The right approach would have been to ask me a little bit more about my business, which is then an invitation for me to ask him a bit more about his. And he could tell me, oh, I coach people. Because what he's done is he hasn't shared the value of what he does. Yeah. He hasn't shared the value of, look, I help people do this, this, and this, and left it there. So I could stew on that and think, wow, that's really cool. I like that idea. I want to know more about that. He's just said, I didn't even know he was a wellbeing coach, so I had no idea. So
it also, I think, with messages like that, makes you look desperate. It makes you look, because what I do or have done is I'd look at that person's profile. Oh, this is what they do. If you want to send a salesy message, send a salesy message, but it ain't going to get you anywhere. Look at that person's profile, look at their business, what they're posting, what they're talking about, and relate that message to something that, just to let you know, this is what I do. If I ever hear of anybody that knows is looking for that support, let me know. That's it. You don't have to dress it. Don't have to be all belt and braces and brass bands and all that crap. Simple, short, polite, friendly. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. But connections, building up outreach through genuine connections, that's really important right now. And if you are a virtual assistant throwing yourself around Instagram, telling everyone that you're coming soon, which you shouldn't be doing, by the way,
and everyone's bored.
Nobody cares, right? Apart from your nan. So stop doing it because no one gives a shit. You literally have to build your personal brand more than ever right now. Start to share with people who you are, who's the person behind all of that. Make sure you're targeting the right platforms where your ideal audience is likely to be. If you join the free VA Vault, so go to morethanava.org, you can join the free membership. You get access to loads of resources. There's a template in there for you to complete for your ideal client persona. Some people see it as like, why do I need this? I remember when I first heard about, an ICP, and I thought, what do I need to know? What car they drive and how many kids they've got and what newspaper they read on a Saturday morning. It matters. Yeah. It really matters that you get into that psyche. So if you're struggling to get clients, it's probably because you haven't done the strategic groundwork first. So do the work, figure out what your niche is. In fact, before we leave, one thing I would say is if you can become the niche rather than the industry. And what I mean by that is part of personal brand building. If you can become the niche because of your particular skill set or your particular story, that can be so powerful, because there are some VAs out there, you know, the ones that they're nomads, they're traveling all over the world, but they're still serving, you know, their ideal client, their ideal niche. They're still serving, doing normal work that we're doing, but they stand out because of the journey they're on.
Yeah.
That they've kind of niched themselves, their brand, right? Or in my situation, I work more in systems and AI and that kind of thing. So that's a niche in itself. What the
Mm,
service that you can offer, because you don't have to be the jack of all trades. You don't have to be a general VA. You don't have to be a VA that does social media. You don't have to be a VA that does everything. You could be a VA that does one thing, just
yeah.
one thing really, really well,
Mm,
and that can help you stand out as well. So they're all our top tips today, and we managed to get through it without any hiccups this time, thank God, because now we're 1 week behind. And then next week, we are going to be back. We're going to be talking about, just check it, filling your books through referrals. So building a client machine, which is something that Kirsty and I have touched on a little bit today, but how you can really get that working for you, because referrals, well, they're magic, aren't they? Loads of our clients come from referrals.
yeah.
So we're going to talk to you about it. We're going to teach you how to do it. Make sure you show up live at 10 o'clock on YouTube and Instagram. And don't forget to listen to the VA Live Lounge podcast on all popular streaming channels. Please subscribe, please comment, please hit the notification bell on YouTube, so that you will be notified when all of our videos are landing. And remember, I do a live every Thursday at 12:45 to 1 p.m. on YouTube with my quick wins. And the last one, if you missed it, was talking about why you're leaking money as a virtual assistant. So go and listen to that. And we'll see you next week. Thanks, Kirsty.
Bye.